Good morning. This is Karen Spar, Executive Vice President of the Southport Oak Island Area Chamber of Commerce, and we are coming live from the Chamber's building today for Faces of Commerce because we have Lint Eviction with us. Hi, guys.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. Please introduce yourself.
I'm Jaret. This is my dad,
Mike.
Right.
And we are Lint Eviction, small family-owned business right here local in Brunswick County, and we go from Ocean Isle on up into Leland doing
That's
work.
great. What is Lint Eviction?
Lint Eviction is the area's brushless lint removal company. And we make repairs as well. But we started doing some research several years ago and found that dryer lint is the #1 cause for home fires.
That's scary.
I didn't know that. I mean, I knew you needed to keep your lint filter changed in your dryer, and every so often you needed to clean out the duct line, and most people don't even know that. And it so happens to be that this is like the hidden danger that you don't get to see. I mean, most of the time, if there's an issue, if there's danger, you see it, you do something to fix the problem. All of this stuff, for the most part, is kind of in your walls, or behind your dryer, or in your dryer. So if you don't see it, you don't know that there's a problem.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. House fires.
Yes, house fires. #1 cause for house fires. Typically starts in the dryer. The two main components to what we do are the fire aspect and the efficiency. If you have a duct line that is completely clogged with a bird's nest, or completely clogged with lint, or you have a vent cover that is clogged with lint, a roof cover that is clogged with lint, this stuff basically becomes like glue, So as the lint tries to work its way out of these covers, or as it starts to clog a vent line or a duct line, and the condensation builds up, or in this case a roof vent gets wet from rain, that rain, just water in general, wherever the water is coming from, turns it into a glue, a paste. Okay, and that's where the efficiency aspect of it is at. So if your dryer isn't exhausting properly, it's not running efficiently. If you have we've had so many cases where people call us and they say, I'm having to dry my clothes twice. I'm having to run my dryer 3 times to dry towels. I think I need a new dryer. Do I need a new dryer?
Condensation inside the drum.
Yeah. 9 out of 10 times, they don't need a new dryer. They need to have the complete system cleaned because it's not being allowed to run efficiently. The fire aspect of it, although it can start in the duct line, most of that is going to happen within the vent line, which is the connector from the dryer to the ducting, or it's going to happen inside the dryer. To just clean, every time you dry clothes, you should be cleaning your lint trap. But the lint trap only catches so much lint through the process of drying clothes. Even if you're cleaning it standard, pulling out the filter and cleaning the filter every time you dry clothes, a portion of that lint is still working its way down into the face of the dryer around the heating elements in the dryer. So if you're not occasionally having that part of the unit taken apart, fully disassembled, going down in it and cleaning it, then you're leaving a lot of lint behind. Lint, i.e. fire starter. I mean, the Boy Scouts have been using it for years. They really have. Boy Scouts
in bags.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Mine and my wife's nephew, he lives in Chicago. When we started doing all this, his dad called me up and he said, "You'll never believe what they asked us to go home and do." I said, "What was that?" He said, "They wanted us to go home and get lint out of the dryer to bring in as a fire starter." Wow. So you can literally spark it. I mean, all it takes is a spark for lint to catch fire. And that's I think the biggest thing that we want people to understand as a business is, yes, we are a business, but we found out really early in doing this is the key component of what we're doing is just educating people. Mm-hmm. You have to take this serious. This is a problem. It does result in home fires all the time. It was less than 90 days ago, a home caught fire in Bowling Spring Lakes because of this. It is it's a serious issue. In some cases, homeowners can take care of it themselves. You know, if you've got a dryer that sits on an exterior wall of your home, you got a little short piece of ducting. So say your entire exit ducting is only this long, you know, and it's exiting out from the dryer all the way out the home. You only have this little bit to clean. All you got to do is remove your covers, and you can clean the ducting yourself. You know, if you have the ability to move the dryer and clean the back of the dryer, you know, clean the connection point, you can clean all that yourself. So I think, you know, we really found out, as much as we are a business and we do charge for this service and we stay busy doing it, you know, that we want people to understand that sometimes they can do it themselves, and if that is the scenario, you need to be doing it.
Do it.
You know?
Just make sure you're doing it.
This is typically what 2 or 3 things the homeowners need to be looking for is their exterior caps, and they come in different sizes. This is what you want. Has a critter guard on it, has a working flap inside. These fail, the system fails. Behind the dryer, something else the homeowners can do is, if they have this kind of hookup, that's just not acceptable. You want a good, nice, clean pipe. These clamps are typically used. Those are not what you want. You want a nice screwed-on clamp. So if there is an issue with a fire, it would flame out and not create a problem. Mm-hmm. But the things that the homeowners can look at is the back of the vent dryer, the clamps, the caps, and check and see and make sure the birds are not inhabiting their vents.
And there are a number of indicators. You know, if the first being, most people's dryers stop working properly. You know, they don't dry clothes. It's not always the case that this is the issue. You know, sometimes you just have a bad dryer. But we have found that that is typically the #1 indicator that you've got something going on with your system, either lint related or bird's nest related, is that you get to that point where it's, oh, I gotta dry every load of clothes 2 times, 3 times. Another indicator is when your dryer is running, okay, go outside and find the exit point where your cover's at. This flap should be open, okay? With that dryer exhausting properly, these flaps, and this is a bad one, but these flaps will open like this to allow the dryer to exhaust, okay? If your dryer's running and that flap's not open, if it's a louvered flap where you've got 6 louvers and those louvers aren't opened up, your dryer's not exhausting. You got a clog somewhere. In 2002, the code changed. It all went to hard ducting like this. Homes built prior to 2002, the ducting could consist of, I mean, the entire duct system could consist of this stuff. And we've been in homes where you got a first floor unit, goes up through the wall into the attic, and it does exit out of the house at some point. But this was used for the entire system, and it looks like a mountain. You know, if you've got 40 feet of this, and it's doing this in your attic, your dryer's not exhausting. A lot of the times, even in that scenario, if you've got a bend here, you said condensation earlier, you'll find condensation in the bottom of this. We find them all the time where he takes them apart and shoots video of water pouring out of them for 60 seconds, 2 minutes. I mean, just water pouring out. The big thing here at the coast, and I think it's probably more so on the beachfront homes.
Yeah, it's with the birdhouse.
It's the birds. Yeah.
Oh, look at this.
This is typically about 4 to 5 bird nests in 1 unit.
Oh my goodness.
Find them all the time.
This is bad.
Yeah, this is.
We don't want
this.
this.
Is very bad, and it starts out with a failed cap. So what we've decided to do with our beachfront houses is, even with replacing this on the outside, if this gets lost, this is a guard that we found that we can actually cover this up with.
So it's like
And
double
it's kind of
protection
double
over top of
protection
the cap.
to allow the dryer to work without the birds getting in it.
And a lot of the times, this stuff has failed because of storms, because of wind. We live in a harsh environment. Okay, all of this stuff built out of plastic, it dry rots. You know, now a new system, it's not going to go bad in a year. Okay, but a lot of these homes, I mean, this could have been on a house for 15, 20 years. You know, and over time, it just breaks down when it starts getting weak and it starts getting brittle. You have a small storm come through, tropical storm. You have a hard winter wind come through, and these things get busted and blown off. And it's not something you think about. You know, you don't think to go out and look up at the side of your, you know, your pilot home and go, oh, that cap's missing. You know, and that's when you end up with this situation. You know, so a lot of the preventative aspect of it is just looking. You know, just take the time.
General maintenance.
Yeah, just take the time to go out and go, okay, my dryer's running. Is my flap opening? You know, I know this is where it exits out at. Do I have a cover on it? You know, does the cover have a guard? If it doesn't have a guard, is there a flap? You know, we'll find them sometimes the guard's missing, but the flap is there. And as long as that flap is there, typically you're fine. Okay. You know, a very determined bird could get behind that flap, I guess.
And there are some out there.
Yes.
They really are.
The roof vents are the ones that we have found are the most problem areas. A dryer exhausting can typically exhaust properly with the right system, perfectly fine with a duct line, say in a condo or a pilot home that goes out the bottom of the house. Ideally, it goes out the bottom or it vents out of a sidewall horizontally. When you're trying to vent this way, okay, so you've got a 2-story pilot home, your system's on the first floor, okay, and you vent out the roof, you know, or your condo, you vent out the roof. We haven't found a dryer that produces enough exhaust to push lint 25 feet in there.
Right.
You know, so what ends up happening is if you have, stand up for it here, is if you have this piece of ducking, okay, and you've got a 90-degree, it's coming in. Hand me that off, the connection line. So this is how you're connected. So your dryer's here. You're connected into the ducting here in the wall, and now it's venting out of your roof. Well, as that dryer runs, all that dryer is really capable of doing is suspending lint. Okay, so if you're having to go 20-25 feet with this line, as the dryer runs, the lint sits there and suspends in this line. It does exhaust some of it, okay, but most of what gets to the exterior cap ends up getting caught by the cap. Mm-hmm. Okay, so you got the problem area on the roof here with the cap catching the lint and creating a void for anything to exit. Okay, and then the rest of it, the dryer is just simply suspending in the duct line. So when the dryer goes off, it all settles back down. Okay, you do that happens over 12 months. Yeah,
and when this becomes this, and it becomes inefficient at that point.
Right.
And when you have that happening over the course of 12 months, that's when we get the call, my dryer's not running.
Right.
My dryer's not working. And we understand that you know, most folks, they can't get up on their roof and take care of a roof vent. Mm-hmm. We get a lot of calls for the roof vents, and we do a lot of repairs on roof vents.
I can't even move my dryer, so I have already hired them to come out and do my house.
I mean, when
we certainly appreciate that.
You take this on the side of a home and the sun beating on it and the weather and the elements beating on it, and then you put your exhaust
coats of paint too.
But then you put your exhaust point in a scenario where it's on the roof with shingles in the heat. The roof vents are bad. The roof vents are probably typically the most worst scenario that you can find. Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you all telling us the importance of why you need to clean your entire vent system.
The entire vent system.
Not just use your lint trap and not just pull the dryer out every once in a while and clean right behind the dryer.
Our service typically takes 2 hours. Okay, and that's for a standard clean. we are starting in the face of the dryer, disassembling everything there, cleaning that. And then we're moving to the connection line in the back, the exit port in the back of the dryer, cleaning all of that. Inspecting everything along the way, taking before and after photos of everything along the way.
All right, but you're not going to post those on Facebook, are you? 'Cause I don't want anybody to know how bad my behind my dryer is.
We actually prefer for the clients to be there.
Okay.
We prefer for them to be there. While it's not always the case that that's able to happen, but at the end of the job, we like to be able to sit down and go through the before and after, especially in a scenario where we found something that needs to be repaired. Okay. Instead of us just saying, hey, you got flex line for your whole unit up in your attic. Well, here's pictures of it. Here's pictures of the mountains of flex line that you have up in your attic. We can fix it. Here are the after pictures. So it's cleaning, it's lint removal, it's repair.
But it's also safety.
It's also safety.
And efficiency too.
Yeah.
It's about efficiency too. If the dryer's working good, you're saving money.
That's true, because the electric.
Yeah, you're saving money.
Yeah.
The safety aspect of it is key, and to be able to fully service a system, you have to service the complete system. You can't just do the duct line. You do the duct line, you've serviced the duct line. You replace this, or you have a new dryer installed from Lowe's. You've got a 20-year-old dryer. You go, it's time to upgrade my dryer. They come out, they put your new dryer in. They're going to put this in new, but you have nothing done to your ducting. Or it's not running efficiently, and you have the ducting cleaned, and remove the clog from the actual duct line, but you do nothing to the dryer. So you leave lint setting in the dryer around the heating element. It is kind of a three-part thing to have a full system clean, and that's the reason it takes us 2 hours to do it.
Right.
And it's not in and out in 30-minute service.
And it's extremely reasonable price.
Thank you.
So
Thank you. I did a lot of research. We're members of the National Fire Protection Association, which provides us with a ton of industry information. If codes change or anything like that, we're constantly getting emails from them. And their recommendation is at least every 12 months.
okay.
And that's in a standard home. Okay, you take vacation properties over on the beach, rental properties. You have a rental property that will house 12 people for a week. Okay, they're going on and off the beach every day.
It's a lot of dryer.
I don't know that they're necessarily cleaning the bathing suits before they put them in the dryer. He gets sandblasted all the time. I mean, he has goggles that he wears when he cleans the ducting on rental properties because there's so much sand in the unit. But so that type of scenario, that dryer is actually getting used a lot more than just our personal dryers at home. So at least every 12 months. In that case, it could probably be done more often. We don't necessarily push for people to do it more often, but we do say, hey, look, this is what we found. I don't know when the last time it was that you had this done or if you've ever had it done. If you haven't ever had it done on your beach home, let's give it 6 months. Let's give it 12 months and look at it. And if we come back in 12 months and it's awful, then maybe you should get on a 6-month deal where it's a rental property. You know it's renting for weeks and weeks on end throughout the summer. You're having all of these people come in and they're drying their clothes every day. You might need to have it done a little bit more often than that in that case.
All right, we are going to wrap it up now, but make sure that you give them a call or just go look at your dryer vents. Like they've told you, look at your caps and then hire them to do it. Who wants to mess around with moving that dryer and cleaning it out? I sure don't. There's
a ton of educational information on the website, linteviction.com. You can read our process, exactly what we do. This is actually our information packet we use at trade shows. It is exactly replicated on the website. So
perfect.
All of the information is there. It's super simple to navigate. And
telephone number?
910-279-1308.
And it's by Mike Sears.
And Mike
And
Sears.
if you have any questions, shoot us an email from the website and we'd be glad to help you.
All right. Thank you all
Awesome.
for being
Thank
here
you.
today. And
Thank
thank you
you.
for this education, because it's so important to everyone to be safe in their homes and do a little bit of maintenance.
Absolutely.
And let them do it. Honestly, do you really want to move that dryer?